Hello my friends, William Poloniak here at Whole Health Foundation, and in this video I'm making a small batch of juice, but this time I want to test if the temperature is lower using the new Near Zero Blowback cutter versus the original stock cutter. So I'm going to show you my ingredients, and then we'll start with the original cutter, then we'll let the juicer rest a while to have the temperature go back to normal, and then we'll try it with the Near Zero Blowback cutter. So let's look at the ingredients. Now here I have weighed out the exact same weight of baby beets, turmeric and ginger, baby beets, turmeric and ginger, carrots and collards in two separate batches, exactly the same weight. So let's start with the original cutter. Now first I'm going to shred my greens, then my baby beets, turmeric, ginger, and then my carrots. But first I'm going to measure the temperature, and I see I have 68.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Now it's hovering between 68.5 to 69 degrees. Right, I'm going to start with my first batch of greens, and I'm not going to use ice cubes to cool the cutter down. I'm going to run it all the way through and see what the final temperature is. Now we'll do the baby beets. Now another thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to clean my grid. Then we'll measure the temperature. Now I'm going to do the second batch of juice, but first we'll measure the temperature, and it looks like 70 degrees, 68, 69, 70. Okay, now we'll start making the second batch of juice, this time with the original cutter. Okay, once again I'm going to start with my greens. Next the baby beets. And the last two carrots. Let's measure the temperature. 74, 75, 73, it hovers between. Looks about 74 degrees. Next I'm going to mix this batch of juice, collard greens, baby beets, ginger, turmeric. Now we're going to press the pulp into juice, and I want to remind you that this video was a comparison of the Near Zero Blowback cutter and the regular stock cutter to show if there was a temperature difference. And it looks like the Near Zero Blowback cutter was at least 3 degrees cooler. So we will put 3 scoops of pulp into each cloth. And again, I'm going to fold this into thirds, flatten it as it came packaged, and put it aside and press 2 cloths full of pulp at one time. Now once again, fold it into thirds and flatten it like it came packaged. A little crease back here. Watch my folding technique again. I'm going to grab this with my fingers and tuck it under, like so, for a tight package. Set that aside and continue. You notice how I have this hanging so the cloth doesn't hang on the countertop. You never know how clean your countertop's going to be, so better to minimize any chance of contamination. Now when I'm on my last cloth, I'm going to advance that all the way. 3 more scoops. Watch my folding technique. Once you get used to this, you get a nice rhythm going. This goes forward, that goes over, the spent cloths go on top. There's my 6 cloth method. And once again, the cloths go in the center, centered left to right, centered front to back, adjusted if necessary, all the way back, back it off. If you have a puddle of juice in the bowl, hold this with your thumb very carefully and very, very carefully pour this into the collection bowl. The first time I did this, I was in a hurry and I got it all over my countertop and I wasted all that effort. So there's 2 ways to do the 6 cloth less work method. If there's a puddle of juice in the bowl, take this spent pulp, crush it up, put it in the puddle of juice to absorb that juice in the bowl, and then continue. When you're on your last cloth, especially after your first scoop, advance that all the way. 2 scoops. Keep your eye on the bowl, it's getting very, very full. Now this goes forward, that goes over. The spent cloths go on top. Now because this bowl is very, very full, I'm going to set this back and fill some bottles. Now I'm filling this from the back side so the camera gets a good angle. And notice I'm leaving 10% for filtered or distilled water because for me the juice is already too sweet. And let's make some more juice. So we'll set this aside. 2 more cloths in the press. Centered left to right. Adjust it. Centered front to back, all the way back, back it off. I'm going to take the spent pulp and I'm going to form it into a tight package and press it again. Now notice my folding technique. I'm going to fold it under 2, 3, 4, 5 times, as many times as we can. And this is to minimize slippage. We'll do that in both directions. Turn it upside down, flatten it. Press that all the way. Now my friends, as you can see, I have 3 double packets of repackaged juice, and what I'm going to do now is demonstrate how the Whole Health Foundation model makes 10% or more juice from the same produce. Now check that your tray's on properly, make sure your packets are in the center and adjust them if necessary all the way back. And what I'm going to do now is when I get juice flow, I'm going to back that off. Put my last 2 cloths in there, and as soon as I get juice flow, I'll back that off a tiny bit. I want to make sure I have traction here, and when I do, I'll advance that all the way. It looks like we got over 18 ounces of juice, so I'm going to stop this because it's going to overflow. And then we'll pour this into the container and fill some more bottles. As you can see from this batch, I got 9 bottles of juice, and remember, about 19 ounces, more than one of these bottles, plus the taste test, came from pressing the juice again after a normal pressing period. So let's do a taste test. Now before I do a taste test, I want to remind you that the purpose of this video was to show whether or not the Near Zero Blowback cutter had less of a temperature when shredding produce, and yes, it was 3 to 4 degrees cooler using a Near Zero Blowback cutter. So there's another advantage to the Near Zero Blowback cutter other than shredding the produce better. Well, my friends, I hope you like my videos, and if you do, please tell a friend. If you'd like to telephone me, my phone number is 760-753-0321. My email address is developtrust@cox.net, and my webpage is wholehealthfound.com. I'll see you in the next video.